if you're stuck losing weight and you're fasting perfectly, what else is in there? What's the secondary gain? What's the secondary gain of weight gain? Holding on to it. Okay, well, you don't have to fully be seen. It's a padding. It's a form of padding. Maybe you might decide that it'll change your relationship, and maybe that change is scary to you. Maybe you actually are getting secondary gain from being overweight and walking around and saying, I can't lose weight, I can't lose weight, I can't lose weight. And so you're getting attention for that. But I think if you look at weight, I think you'll see that it is accumulation of excess, and there's a resistance to stepping into your own true authentic self. Some of you who have thyroid problems or autoimmune conditions, let's look at the emotional side of that. Thyroid problems, where are you not using your voice? Where in your life have you not used your voice? How many times have you not used your voice? I can tell you it's about a bazillion for me. But in my 40s, I started using my voice in very strong ways. And I haven't had any thyroid problems. I'm not saying that that's just my N of 1. So maybe if you have a thyroid problem, maybe it's doing all the right things I'm talking about. But I'm also recommending that you continue to ask yourself how you can use your voice. Those of you with an autoimmune condition, the autoimmune condition is your body attacking itself. 80% of autoimmune conditions happen to women. Why is that? We have strayed so far from our own natural selves and our own natural desires, and we have adapted and accommodated to the culture so that we will be loved, and we have done it so well that now our body is turning on ourselves and attacking these cells. That's Sarah Gottfried's work. That's what she's out there preaching. So if you want to overcome an autoimmune condition, what is your body attacking? Is it attacking toxins? Is it attacking patterns of thought? Or is it attacking unresolved traumas? So there is this general theme that I want you to see and hear, which is after 40, you have been now given hormonal permission to start listening to you and doing it your way. And as you get hurdles along that path, keep asking yourself, I have a headache. Okay, what's the headache mean? Is it a moment I strayed away from myself, that I wasn't congruent with myself? Just keep asking and keep asking. Forgiveness is a huge one. I just saw somebody put forgiveness in there. So many of us need to forgive ourselves. The liver is anger. I did this with Lisa. So if you're having challenges getting into ketosis, maybe there is a situation in your life where you are holding on to anger that's not allowing that organ to be able to function properly. And so you need to let go of the anger, and maybe it's anger at somebody else, or maybe it's anger at you. The lungs are grief. We're not allowed to grieve in this world. We're like, they don't want us all emotionally messy. This is why they put us all on Paxil and all the other antidepressants. So our emotional messiness gets contained. But lung stuff is grief. Have you been allowed to grieve? This is Louise's book. You can heal yourself. And it has never been more true than this moment. And so where I want to take the messaging, fear is kidneys. So, all of the kidney infections you've had in your life, a lot women get bladder infections, that's all fear. So we've got to start seeing our health, especially after 40. If you're getting close to 40, you can start looking at it now as consequences of betraying our true self. And sometimes we betray it chemically, and sometimes we betray it emotionally, and sometimes we betray it physically. But it's time to stop betraying ourselves. And this is why some of you can go into these fat burner experiences and you can drop weight like this, because there's an overall willingness to just shed what no longer serves you. And some of you are like, I'm doing everything I can and it's not getting better. And I think the best question to ask ourselves is, where have we betrayed ourselves? And I think each one of us will find that different answer. And I think each one of us will find that there's multiple ways we've betrayed ourselves. I'll be full transparency. I'll tell you a place I betrayed myself nutritionally. I fell in love with John Robbins' work when I was in my 20s, and I thought everything he wrote about around animal cruelty and eating meat, like it all made perfect sense to me. And so I became a vegan for 10 years. And then I ended up gaining a ton of weight because I was a junk food vegan. I was eating Doritos and eating pizza and drinking beer. I was coming out of college. And so I was literally like a junk food vegan. And one day I had this inner hunch. This is another really, really important part of wisdom for women. We have a wicked intuition, wicked. And there was an inner hunch that just like literally one day was like, you are eating meat today. You are eating meat. And after 10 years of being vegan, I decided to eat meat. And then I got really into meat, and I betrayed myself by moving away from plants. And I've now come back to a place where I'm like, these are both really great. How do I mix them together? We betray ourselves every time I get this all the time on Instagram. I can't tell you how many people want to take Stacy Sims and I and pit us against each other. So I finally brought her on my podcast so we could see what our similarities are, and people still want to try to pit us against each other. And what we came to the conclusion is that when you're in the menopausal years, you need to do some things that are hard. So there was like this unifying, but all the women, they're like, I can't fast because Stacy Sims said I shouldn't fast as a menopausal woman. You just betrayed yourself. Just like if you say to me, hey, like for so many years, I've been like, I love skipping dinner. I love skipping breakfast. That is my preferred meal to skip for many years. So I taught it that way. And then some people came to me like, well, what if I want to skip dinner? I'm like, of course, you can do that. So it's coming back to our own inner voice that's always going to guide us in the right direction. That is what I'm trying to help you see, is that as you read me, as you listen to me, even in this, what do you resonate with? What don't you resonate with? I'm just speaking possibilities that I know to be authentically true for me. Now I want you to grab that information and figure out what you resonate with, because I don't want you to be me. I want you to be you. And I want your voice to be heard. Your voice is going to be heard differently than my voice. But what I don't want you to do is quiet your voice or adapt yourself into fitting some diet culture, or put a patch on yourself because some menopause guru told you to do it. I want you to start doing things because it feels authentic to you. And I want that internal guidance inside of you to get so strong that every single environment you put yourself in, you're like, yep, this is right. Nope, this doesn't feel good. And I want you to have the power to be able to speak that truth. That's the summary of everything I'm trying to tell you, is that there's a coming, and thank God for menopause. Thank God for menopause, so that our neurochemical armor could come down and we could finally listen to the voice that we decided to give away at 12 years old when somebody asked us what we wanted to eat and we said, I don't know, what do you want to eat? We can actually come back and be like, mac and cheese, please. That's what needs to happen for us to be healthy. Have you been watching my videos and you're just not sure how to put them all together into one lifestyle? I call it a fasting lifestyle, and I created a whole course for you, and it's free. Just click on the link and it'll take you straight to my free course on how to build a fasting lifestyle. Hope it helps. Last thing I want to say, and I think this is really important, is that it is really important as we move through these menopause years and we are watching other women return home to themselves, that we support women in this shedding and coming home to themselves and coming back to their authentic voice. And we don't need each woman to believe what another woman believes. We need each woman to believe what she believes, which means if you do a behavior that I disagree with, the best thing I can do for you is love you, because I want to love you in you standing in your congruency. This is health. This is health. It's listening to your own internal guidance and getting to know the desires of your own soul, your own self, and doing it in a way that is congruent to you and not and stop adapting. We had to adapt for so many years that when the neurochemical armor comes down, if we try to slow that down, we could end up with chronic disease. If we sit in the misery of it, we could end up in divorces and killing ourselves. But if we embrace it and see it as we're taking this shit off and we're coming back and we're healing, we're honoring the woman I was, and we're healing, you're invincible. Ask yourself multiple times throughout the day, where am I betraying myself? When you're feeling sad, when you're feeling anxious, when you can't sleep, when you're not losing weight, the question is, where have I betrayed myself? Where am I betraying myself? And what wounds do I need to heal and take off of me so that every year on this planet, I can get more and more congruent with who I was meant to be and show up as. And I will tell you, this is the journey I'm on. So you can watch me. This is me. This is little Mindy Pelz at 11 coming back home. You are witnessing her right now. But I hope that in me doing this for me, it gives you permission to do it for you. And I hope that we as women in the Reset Academy, that we come together and we create a MOI. And we support each other in the aging process. And we share resources and whatever that looks like. You know, I'm really trying to think. There's so many wise people in this group, wise women. It's like, oh, there's so many things I want to pull out of each one of your beautiful faces and figure out how we gel it together so we pull our resources. But this is my vision of aging for women, is that it's a coming together and it's a coming back home. It's not a pulling apart. Okay, if you loved this video, you're gonna wanna check out the next video of my food series. On this video, want to talk about the healthy foods that you might be eating that will stop you from a long and healthy life.